Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I wanted to do a special review today for my very favorite Thanksgiving-themed horror film. Now, there aren't many, and I wanted to prove to people that there are other ones besides Thanksgiving and its horrendously awful sequel, Thanksgiving 3. And of course, I had to throw on my Thanksgiving, Arrive Hungry, Leaf Stuffed, Eli Roth faux trailer from Grindhouse shirt that I got from Hot Topic once upon a time for $5 on clearance. I randomly walked in, I was looking through their clearance aisle, and this shirt was in there, and my God did I freak, because as much as I love the Grindhouse, I have to say that the fake Thanksgiving trailer might have been my favorite part of that whole experience. What a wonderful experience that was in the theater, and this is a big part of it. I honestly still think that this is the best thing Eli Roth has ever done. Now, I'm not an Eli Roth hater who's like, oh, fuck all his work and blah. No, I've enjoyed pretty much everything he's done. But this, I really wish you would have made this into a feature-length film. I still hold out hope one day it'll happen, because this needs to happen. Anyway, let's get to the movie I want to talk about here. One of my very favorite slashers of the 80s. Yes, there is a slasher set on Thanksgiving in the 80s. Actually, there's 2 of them. And I expect to review the other one today as well. I'll have to go watch it right after this. But I want to get that done. To give you guys some other titles to look for on this holiday season. The film that I'm going to review right now, though, and thank you to Arrow for putting this out, because it had fallen pretty much into obscurity at this point. You know, you rewind the clock like a year, and this movie was unknown to almost everybody except for the hardcore slasher enthusiasts like myself and some other really, really cool people. And the only way you could get it would be on this shitty VHS that was rare, and it was hard to find. And the only way that I used to be able to watch it was on YouTube. So thank you for YouTube. And then when Arrow announced this Blu-ray, I freaked out. Blood Rage. Now, this was released on VHS as Nightmare at Shadow Woods, and that was a cut, edited version of it. And this actually they shot additional scenes for that. This actually has a combination of the cut one with extra scenes and the uncut one, and they blend them together. So all 3 versions are on this. I like to watch the Blood Rage, just the regular R-rated, hard cut. That's my favorite version. I don't want the other scenes spliced in. And my God, is it fucking fantastic. So I am going to talk about spoilers now, but in case you just want to watch this without hearing me talk about it for your Thanksgiving day, go ahead and turn this off right now. If you've already seen it and you want to hear about it, I'm going to talk about it from here. But this Blu-ray is absolutely worth it. I don't know if it's out of print or not. I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure it's still going. But I can't recommend it high enough. Seriously, it's cheesy as fuck. I'm not going to say it's a good movie. This isn't like Halloween or something. This isn't a good movie. But it's a great movie. You know, it's one of those. The acting is pretty terrible. The gore is fantastic. So, absolutely pick this up. The transfer is gorgeous. My God, Arrow did a fabulous, fabulous job cleaning this movie up, and couldn't have picked a better film to pick it up. They also put out The Mutilator, like right when this came out, which is another one that had only been on VHS, and I was dying to get. So Arrow really filled a lot of my big wishes. So anyway, let's get into this movie. The spoilers, let's go. Ted Raimi makes a really quick cameo here as the condom salesman in the Drive-In, which is just always great to see Ted pop up in all these random movies back in the 80s. We have a guy trying to fuck a mother in the car while the kids are in the back seat sleeping at this drive-in, which is totally fucked up. This guy's a scumbag. Who tries to fuck somebody with their kids in the car? It's just evil. We have, you know, as I said, the gore in this movie is on point. I just rewatched it. I was wondering if the gore was as good as I remembered it, because it had been a little while since I had watched it, and it was. It was great, man. Some great shit here. Kind of reminded me of like The Burning, you know, level of gore, which if you haven't seen The Burning for some reason, Jesus Christ, what are you doing with your life? That's one of the greatest slasher movies ever made. I put it in the top 3 of all time. And, you know, decent amount of nudity here, and every single girl in this movie, besides the mother, the younger girls, all have no bras on. They didn't seem to make bras in the 80s for girls in their 20s. Or at least, you know, they wouldn't allow them. They pulled the George Lucas thing where they were like, they don't have bras in space. And they're like, but this movie doesn't take place in space. Action! All right. The acting, as I said, is dreadful. Oh my God. But, weirdly, the mother in this movie kind of goes back and forth between really good psychotic crazy woman and really over-the-top bad psychotic women. It reminds me of the performance that Nicolas Cage gives in Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans, which I've always said is the greatest and worst performance I've ever seen in my life taking place at the exact same time. It reminds me of something like that, where I'm sitting there like, is this a brilliant performance or is this awful? And it's like every second I think I'm like, oh man, it's bad. And then I'm like, well, that's really good. Like, she's really fucking crazy. This is interesting to watch. The kid who plays Terry and Todd throughout this movie, it's twins. In case you're watching this and you haven't seen the movie yet, this is about 2 identical twin brothers who, one of them kills somebody at the drive-in. They sneak out of the car, they go and butcher somebody. One of the kids butchers somebody, and he pins it on the brother. The brother grows up in a mental institution while the other brother, Terry, is out and about, and everyone thinks that Todd had done it. And then Todd escapes, and when Terry finds out about him escaping, he decides to go on a killing spree, a blood rage. And the murders are being pinned on Todd as he's out on the loose. So, and this is taking place over Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving dinner. I don't know if this is just the Blu-ray cleanup or whatnot. I'm pretty sure it's just how it is. A lot of people's teeth in this movie are very yellow, but the mom's are especially disgusting looking. It's hard to look at times when she smiles. They're just like yellow as yellow gets. It looks like someone soaked them in urine for like a week. And the mom also has this really weird cleavage that comes from her bra being too tight, like halfway up her tits. So it's like it like folds into itself and pushes up, and it looks like, I don't know. You have to see it. It's very bizarre, and she has it throughout the entire film. The mom asks Terry not to tell anyone that his brother's escaped, and then of course like he goes to the table and she instantly tells him, and he instantly tells everyone. She just gives him this long, peering, like inquisitive look of, why have you done this to me? Maybe you are crazy. Maybe she has this long, pondering look. I mean, it goes on for like a full minute, and it feels like 5. But no one seems concerned that the brother who murdered someone brutally and doesn't seem to be getting any better is on the loose. And when people show up looking for him, yet again, they don't all seem that concerned. And when his girlfriend accidentally mistakes Todd for Terry, and Todd comes out and says that he is Todd, she just runs off and tells some people, and then they go and look for him for like a second and then get back to their night and don't seem all that concerned. It's very odd. It's very, very odd. But it's just because it's terrible acting, terrible dialogue, terrible writing, you know, the whole works. It's just, it's just very, very, very funny. The guy who's out looking for him just randomly stops on someone's porch to take a pot smoke break. Something that happens in a lot of these movies, and a lot of movies in general, especially these more schlocky ones, is somebody hides something behind their back. Like the guy clearly has like his hand like this, and he walks up on someone, he's talking to him. And it's like, have you ever been in a conversation with somebody where they have their hand behind their back like this, and you're not like instantly asking them why their hands are behind their back? But like, Terry comes up with a machete behind his back, and he's just standing around the guy smoking pot. I mean, he is high, so maybe he's just not noticing, but he literally just started 2 seconds ago. So it's just funny. He's just sitting there like this, and then he just pulls it out, and the guy looks at it, and he's like, huh? And he stabs him. That's how like every death in this movie is. It's kind of he pulls it out, and the person's like, huh? Wait a minute. What's going on here? What's going on? Let me think about it. And clearly they never get to think about it. So, yeah, no questioning at all what's behind his back. I love that Terry and Todd somehow look identical. Like, they are identical twins, but the fact that their hair is exactly the same cut, and it's like this long, shaggy, like specific cut. It's like, what are the odds that they both have that exact same haircut so that people would confuse them? It's a small nitpick, but I was just laughing about it, thinking, I'm a hairdresser. I've said this before a million times, but it's something I'm always going to notice, is stuff like that. And towards the end, they do the confrontation scene between the brothers, and you see like from behind, because it's obviously the same actor playing it, so they had to have a stand-in with a wig, and the wig is horrendous. And then they flip to the other side, and the wig on the other guy is horrendous, and it's not the same wig. So you'd think, because their hair is exactly the same, that the guys would be wearing similar wigs, or the exact same wig, and just have the guy like switch clothes and run around. But nope, the wig's different. You get to see it much better here in the Blu-ray. Another thing that happens in these movies, and this is just because they want to show the character in the shower and her tits and everything, and trust me, I'm not complaining about anything like that, but I always have to chuckle when I see a shower scene and the person is showering with the curtain wide open. Like the curtain is not drawn at all. It is completely pushed over to the side. And obviously that's, as I said, so the shot can line up and they can see him in the shower and they don't have to be in the way. But who the fuck showers with the curtain open? Nobody. That's who. People in shitty horror movies, I guess. There's so many great kills in this. It's hard to pick my favorite, but I do love when she looks through the little peephole on her door, and then she thinks for some reason her boyfriend's just standing out there when his head clearly has blood all over it, and it has like wires around it and stuff. Man, she must have been drunk. But she opens the door and his head is hanging by electrical cord. That's just such a great shot. And then the girl cut in half and her body is like flapping around on the ground. This movie's fucking graphic, man. I'm not shocked that this ended up getting cut and re-released as something a little more tame. It's fucking fantastic, though. The gore in this is wonderful. Definitely a gore movie for gore hounds. And not like excessive, crazy, over-the-top shit or anything, but a lot for the 80s. And the scene where the chick and the dude are playing tennis, the guy swats it over the fucking fence like an asshole, and then lets the girl go off in the woods by herself at night when he knows there is a murderer on the loose, And what does he do? Does he like go to help her? No. He decides to lay down on the tennis court, close his eyes, and try to take a nap while she's out there searching for the ball. What a fucking asshole. I think he deserved what he got. The relationship between Artie and Karen is very handsy. They're supposed to be best friends, and she wants to talk to him about her problems with Terry, but they're like all over each other. Like they just keep grabbing each other's faces and pulling each other like this close. And like if you turned the sound off of their dialogue and you weren't listening to their dialogue at all, and you just watched that scene, you would be 100%, you'd be like, these guys are together, right? I mean, they're a boyfriend, girlfriend. They're like just seconds away from kissing. Like this is, and then you turn the audio back on and it's just like, they're literally saying stuff like, yeah, you know, you were just my best friend and I'm so here to help you. And it, their physical interaction does not fit their dialogue between each other at all. I found that to be fine. And maybe it's ADR, maybe it's dubbed in, but their mouths seem to be actually saying those lines. So I don't know many friends like that who you don't sleep with, but everyone's different. I love when Terry comes up to Karen and he's like, my brother's on the loose. He's killing, and he's holding like a bloody machete. And she's like, okay, we're calling the police. This has gotten out of hand. This has gotten out of hand. He's going around murdering everybody. And her response is, okay, we're calling the police. It's gotten out of hand. It's so good. It's so poorly written. It's so poorly delivered. But my God, does it make me smile. This is the kind of shit I live for. You can always tell the difference between a film, like if you watch my reviews a lot, you can always tell the difference between a movie that like I enjoyed, that I didn't enjoy, and that I just fucking had the most fun time with, because I always am like this. I'm giddy. Like I feel giddy right now from this movie. I love it so fucking much. Karen, because there's a baby that's left behind after her mother is murdered, the gold digging mother, she goes and she grabs the baby and she takes it over to the pool, and she channels her inner Jamie Lloyd from Halloween 6 and places the kid in a little cupboard under the sink. Who does that? I mean, this is 2 movies in a row now. I mean, I just watched Halloween 6 like a month ago. Not for the first time, obviously, but it was funny to see them back to back. Like, is that like the go-to? Like, let's hide it in here. And 2 films in a row, when the killer enters the bathroom, the baby just so happens to be quiet for the first time in the entire film that it's been on, you know, been in the scene. The kid is crying in every scene he's in, but as soon as he's placed in a cupboard, I guess it's just, if you want your kid to stop crying, place him in a cupboard. I'm just kidding. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. And then Terry, this guy, man, is the performance not good? Yes. But it is one of those things. It's another one of those. I love his performance. It's so wacky. It's so over the top. Like, he's looking for Karen in the bathroom and he just decides to stop and take a piss so that he can laugh and whistle and then casually walk out like he's got not a care in the world. This is not a typical slasher movie where, for one, the slasher's hidden, or number 2, the slasher's like doesn't talk or seems to be angry the entire movie or anything like that. This guy is charismatic, he's funny, he's energetic, and I love that. It's such a nice change up from the typical 80s slashers. So I think that's another reason why this movie works so well for me. It never tries to be like a mystery. It never tries to be anything like that. It's just, here's your killer. You know, he's wild, he's fun, and it just completely works for me. And I love that the mom comes in, guns down the son with no hesitation. Like, she sees that he's killed people and she's had it. She comes in, she fires 5 bullets into him, then holds her other son, finds out she shot the wrong son. She meant to shoot because she thought Todd did it. Like, she was convinced that he was the killer. And so when she finds out that she just shot her golden son and that maybe she was wrong this whole time, I don't know. That's kind of open for interpretation, whether she thought he was guilty or not, I don't know. But whatever it was caused her to fire that 6th bullet into herself. I know it's not a big deal, but like, when a revolver, which typically, I mean, other guns do hold more bullets or less bullets. Some revolvers only hold 5, some hold up to 8. But for the majority, and especially this gun, it only holds 6 bullets. So I do like when they pay attention to that and count them out so that I don't have to be like, she fired that gun 17 times. She fired that gun, you know, whatever. So it was 6. And she just like, she realized what she's done. She just fucking blows her head off. And then it just, movie's over. It's just so grim. Like, they're both sitting there like screaming the same thing. Like, I'm Todd, Mom, I'm Todd. And then she's both screaming it, and then she like blows her head off. It's this fucking sad ending. I love it. It's just, this movie is no punches pulled. Awesome. So yeah, I give credit to everyone here, even though they made technically a bad movie. It's such a great movie. I love watching it every Thanksgiving, and I will definitely be watching it every Thanksgiving from here on, and I hope you will too. I hope this will become a Thanksgiving holiday favorite of yours if you haven't seen it before. And if you have seen it for the first time and you came back to check out this, let me know what your favorite scenes were, your favorite kills, all of that. And guys, have a great Thanksgiving, honestly. I'm going to try to go get to that other one and throw you another recommendation, although I've never seen this one and it doesn't look anywhere near as good. So we will see. But, you know, all right, guys. Gobble, gobble, motherfucker. Wait, that's the wrong movie.